Hello my lovelies, welcome to another video. As you can see here, I am surrounded by books. Not as much as some people may think. I will give them that. I am pretty good with my books. I do have a TBR, you can't see it. I have a TBR cart right there, can you see? That has about like 20 something books on there. Not too bad, not too bad. But I thought today would be a fun video if we go through all of the books I have read so far, which isn't many. Oh, I forgot to. There we go. Forgot to. I thought that we would go through all the books that I have read so far, and I will explain my review, what I thought about the books, just to, you know, get to know me a little bit better. Thought that'd be quite fun. Yeah, let's get to it. Okay, now I did read these books quite a long time ago now, so I need to look up what my reviews were. It's been a hot minute. I have missed one again. Give me 1 minute. Okay, now I think I have them all. I think. Okay, so first one we are going to crack on with. So the first one on top here, is Layla by Colleen Hoover. I did give this a 3.5. It was very short, very quick. I really enjoyed this. The twist at the end, I saw it kind of coming. It didn't really shock me that much, but it kind of made the rest of it a bit like, oh, gotcha, you know? So this was really good. I gave this a 3.5. I read this ages ago now. I can't even remember when. 2023, apparently. Got it written down. The next one on this stack is Verity, also by Colleen Hoover. Now, people are like,
oh, Colleen Hoover is terrible. Like, her stuff is just rubbish.
Okay, yes, her books are not great. We all know that. We all know the next one coming up is a little questionable. But Verity was my favourite book that she had written. This is my only one that I will actually stand by being just... this was a 5-star. I will just say it. This was a 5-star. I read this in one sitting. I read this in 2023. It was so gripping. Everything about it just... It was great. Let's just say there's definitely themes in here that can be quite triggering and questionable. So I definitely checked those out before reading. But this didn't even feel like Colleen Hoover's writing. I was reading it, it didn't even feel like Colleen Hoover. It was just, this was such a good read for me. 5 stars. It was a great time. I just remember sitting in my bed and I just didn't leave it. I left once just to go to the loo, but that was it. I literally sat there for 5 hours straight reading this. I couldn't put it down. It was so good. That leads us on to our next one. Ugly Love. So, Ugly Love, I gave a 3-star. It wasn't terrible. Like, it was okay, but it was just cringe. I did like the main guy in this. The main guy was quite, you know, but then again, with the whole like baby and the balls thing, like, the fuck was that? That was unnecessary. Colleen Hoover. But it was a 3-star. It wasn't the worst read. This was before she even became, I think, popular on BookTok or something. Like, I read this way beforehand. I read this, I didn't even have a read date. That explains it. So yeah, this was a 3-star for me. It wasn't terrible, but it wasn't the best. Let's just say this is like a little Colleen Hoover pile before she just became not it. So this next one is It Ends With Us. At the time, I did like this. I gave this a 3.5. Ryle, my man, you need to go to prison because that's not right. And it was like based on a true story, like her parents or something, wasn't it? I was like, I can't even remember. But either way, it was not a romance, let's just say that. Like, there was a romance between her and Atlas. That was cute. That is what I kept reading for. Dear Ellen's, don't even get me started on Dear Ellen. Hated it every time. I just skipped it. But Atlas is what I literally read this book for, because he was so good. Let's just say that. He didn't deserve what came for him at the end. He didn't deserve that, but... And I hated the ending. Any of you have read this and you know the trope at the end of the book? I hate this trope. Any book that has this trope instantly brings down my rating. If the whole book was like a 5-star and at the end it had this rating, that's it. It would be like a 4-star for me. I can't stand it. But anyway, this was a 3.5. Next one is It Starts With Us. Now, I actually really enjoyed this a lot more, purely because I can't find my rating. Hello? Okay, I gave this a 4-star. So I enjoyed this a lot more, purely because Ryle wasn't really in it. I thought her and Atlas deserved it. Great. That is why I loved this a lot more. Yeah. I preferred this so much more because Ryle just wasn't in it. And every time he did show up, she was just like, bye-bye. And I loved it. It's like closure. This book felt like closure. That is why I loved it so much. Well, I didn't love it, but it was a good read. Compared to this, it was closure and it felt just right. So this was a 4-star. I read this. I still don't have a read date. I apologize. I read this at some point. It was a long time ago now. A long time ago. Okay, we move on from our Colleen Hoover stack because that's that. We don't need any more Colleen Hoover on my shelf. No, thank you. This takes me to Happy Place by Emily Henry. This was just an average read. It was good, but it did kind of lose me a little bit because you were just kind of following this group of friends on holiday, and it is a fake dating sort of trope and second chance. So basically a group of friends, sorry, I'm trying to find the rating. A group of friends go on holiday and they don't know that the main character, the main female character and the main male character have broken up. So they have to pretend to keep dating in front of their friends so they don't know. So it's like a second chance trope. Where is it on here? Did I not put it on here? Oh, it's here. Yeah, I gave it a 4-star because it was fun. It was very summery. You know, it's like a summer read. It was fun. It was joyful. It wasn't anything special. So yeah, it was just a normal average read and I gave it 4-star. I did finish this in 2023. So it's a while ago now. Well, like 2 years ago. Well, I mean, it's gone quick. Yeah. Now, my next one is The Dead Romantics. At the time, I just thought it was an average read, and it was like, it was a book that I got in the works for like £2 because it was not being sold. They put it in the clearance section and I wasn't going to pick it up for so long, and oh my god, boy am I glad I did. Let's just say there hasn't been a single day in my life since reading this in 2023 where I haven't thought about this book. I don't know why. I don't know why, because it's nothing like major. I thought the whole concept and like the twist at the end, it wasn't really a twist, but it was so clever. Like the whole thing was just so cleverly done. So this was a 4.5 for me. It wasn't a quick read for me. I think at the time I was just kind of like mediocre, but it really was. The characters were great. I loved it. And there isn't a single day I go in life without thinking about it. And I don't know why. I don't know why. I do recommend this. And I got it for £2. What a bargain. What a bargain. So yeah, I'm really happy I did end up picking this up in the end because it was a really good read. It really was. Next one. Red, White and Royal Blue by Casey McQuiston. McQuiston. I'm not good with authors' names, I will admit, but I freaking ate this up. I love this. Again, there's not a single day I don't go without thinking about this. 5 stars. 5 stars. Even when the film came out, you know, films are never usually as good as the books. This is the only book that turned into a film that I loved, because usually like films just aren't good after a book, but I loved it so much. I watched it like 3 times in the space of 2 weeks. The book was, it was just so good. It was so good. I just got this on a whim. I think I asked my boyfriend for it for my birthday, and on a whim, I was like, "Oh, I've seen this. I just want it." So he got it for me, and little did I know I would love it as much as I did. And you can tell it's been loved. Like, look at the spine. I don't even know if you can see that. Ooh. Can you see the spine? It's like completely broken, and like the corners have been, like, this book has been loved. It really has. It has been loved. I would quite happily reread this. Yeah, this was a 5-star for me. I read this again in 2023. I loved it. Loved it so much. I totally recommend. My next books are part of a series. So, I have a little thing with Lauren Asher. I can't stand her books. I feel awful for saying that, but I genuinely cannot get along with Lauren Asher. I just can't. I read this whole Dreamland Billionaire series. Book 1 was good. What did I give book 1? I don't think it was very high. I gave it a 3-star. So, when did I read it? I read it in 2024, in June. The female characters aren't likable in any of her books. Like, I just can't get along with the female characters. They're so like pick me. I don't know. The guys I didn't mind because they actually progressed and they actually like gained personality and changed throughout the books. But the girls were just so infuriating. I couldn't get along with it. The first half was all right. Same goes for the rest of them. Like, the first halves are fine, and then you get to the rest of it, and it just drags, and I end up skimming it because I just can't be bothered to read it. I just don't care. It's like one of those plots where it's like, I just don't care what goes on. That's how it felt. I gave this a 3-star in the end. The second one, again. Oh, that's me. So the second one, I gave, I don't know if it was less or the same. So yeah, the second one, the second one I gave this a 3.5. I read this 2024 again. Yeah, again, Declan was fine. Isis, I just couldn't get along with. First half was fine. Second half didn't need to be there. They're too long for what they were. The female character just wasn't the same as the first one. And the same with this one. Like, Cal was an alcoholic, drug addict. I felt like that wasn't really portrayed enough or like completely correctly in this. I felt they made it look easy. I'll get onto that again when we move through the piles of books. Lauren Asher. Alana, I didn't like at all. Like, she wasn't as bad as the others. Like, she was a little bit more bearable. I did give this one a 3-star because the second half of it, I skimmed so hard. Yeah, it just wasn't good. It was predictable. They were definitely predictable. Like, the whole kid loving thing, it's like the whole end bit I kind of predicted. So it's too long for what it needed to be. Aggressively slams book. Oh, look at that bad boy. This is my fantasy pile. So, first one. Off to a great start. This is The Queen of Nothing. This is the 3rd book in the Cruel Prince series. I don't know why I'm starting with the 3rd one. I don't even have it on here because I DNF'd this. I am obsessed with the Cruel Prince series. Getting to know me more, you will know I love the Cruel Prince series. It was just so good. Like, I don't even know how to explain it. It was like Carden has my heart. He has a piece of it, not the whole of it, because we've got more books to go yet. We've got more men. Anyway, I DNF'd this so hard. I think I DNF'd it like around here. It just got weird. Why the hell did he turn into a snake? It got weird. I didn't care for the plot. It was just not good. It flopped hard, and I'm very sad because I do love the first 2 in the series, but it flopped hard, which is a bit disappointing. The Wicked King, I love this. I love this so much. It wasn't as good as the first one, but it was still good. Let me find my rating. I gave this a 4.5. Of course I did. Of course I did. Why wouldn't I? yeah, I ate this up. It was a very quick read, and I think it was very much needed after the first one. I really enjoyed it. Love the cover. I mean, I love the covers. Look at that. Gorgeous. I read this in 2021. So, wow. I don't read any more of Holly Black's books because for some reason I don't get along with those ones. It's really strange. Only this series I'm obsessed with. The rest of hers I can't seem to get into. I think it's the characters. I just love the characters so much. They were just so juicy. So juicy. So yeah, I gave this a 4.5 and I ate it up. That's all I can say. And then moving on to The Cruel Prince, one and only, the first book. It has been loved very dearly. It's even got sun bleach. You probably can't really see it on screen. The spine is just... poor things. The covers is just... you can't even see on camera, but it's fallen to bits because of how much it has been loved. Dents, everything. 5 stars, obviously. There's no question. 5 stars, considering how much I enjoyed this. This was when I was getting into my reading. So this was, again, 2021. I was starting to get into my reading. And it was just a really good book to actually get you into reading. It's like soft fantasy. So it's not too overwhelming. The words and like names aren't too bad. It does get more political as the story goes on, which also kind of lost me because I'm not a political person. Political things in books lose me because I read books to get away from that, and I don't really care for it, and it kind of just loses me and it gets really confusing. So this is really good read if you want to get into fantasy, but the heavy ones like ACOTAR and stuff scare you. This is a really good book to start with because it is soft fantasy. And also, may I just add, how gorgeous. I literally have this book in a special edition on my shelf. Gorgeous. So yeah, 5 stars. That leads me on to The King of Elfhame. I read this in one sitting because it is a short novella. And may I also add, gorgeous. I love this. I love hearing about Cardan's story. I thought it was really interesting and quite heartwarming to hear about why he was the way he was. I gave this a 4.5 because, I mean, it was short. It was heartwarming. We heard about Cardan's story. We love Cardan. And also, it's just beautiful. I mean, it's gorgeous. How can you not? How can you not? Okay, so that is the Cruel Prince series. Now we move on to the Once Upon a Broken Heart series. I'm going to be totally honest with you. It's been since 2023 that I have read this series, and I gave this book a 4.5 because at the time I loved this series, right? And I will still, oh, look at that shine. I will still stand by the fact that this is a really good series because when I was reading it, I couldn't put it down. It was brilliant. It was so good. The characters I loved. Oh, don't even get me started on Jax. I really want to read Caraval, but I just don't know if I can be bothered. But anyway, like I was saying, I will be honest, I can't remember this book. I can't remember this book. I can remember half of this book, and you will know why in a minute. I can remember snippets, but I cannot remember it like as vividly as like these books. I don't know why. Because I know I love this series so much, and I will stand by that. I think maybe I was going through exams or something, and I just wasn't as focused, but I will stand by the fact that I love, again, I've got special editions on my shelf. I love this book. It was great. I did give it a 4.5. Characters were lovable, apart from a few. Oh! It's coming back to me now. It's coming back to me now. It's coming back to me as I'm talking about it. Never mind then. We'll move on to the second one, The Ballad of Never After. I think I preferred this one over the other one. I mean, we'll find out. Oh, okay, I gave it 4.5, so I gave it the same rating. I do remember this series. Oh, it was so good. It was just, again, it was soft fantasy, so it wasn't hard to understand. Names weren't too confusing. You knew what was going on. It's full of action. Covers beautiful. I mean, look at that. Covers are gorgeous. Whoop! Hello, Stephanie Garber. Say hi. I gave this one a 4.5 as well. This one, I was going through a time where I was moving from sixth form to uni, and I read this much and then that much, and I DNF'd it because I just couldn't get into it, and I knew I wanted to read it when I was in a good mood. So I recently picked this back up. I think it was this year. Yeah, it was April I picked this back up, and I gave it 3.75. I was satisfied. I will say that. Like, just Jax was hardly in it. Yeah, he kind of just like popped in and out, random reasons, and I felt like he was very forced in this book. Like, it felt like he wasn't actually meant to be there, and she would just make him pop in and out randomly, out of nowhere, like for no reason, just to add a bit of plot or to add a bit of something. It just felt really like, okay, you're losing it now. So yeah, the first two were better, but yeah, I do love this series. It is definitely very gorgeous and very entertaining, and yeah, soft fantasy, so I do recommend it if you don't want to get into something too hardcore to begin with. Right, we move on to another one of my favorite series, Powerless. I love this series, right? And there are a few things that I will state. I think everyone can actually kind of agree with this to an extent, but Powerless is very much like the Red Queen. It was the Red Queen, but it was done the way that the Red Queen should have been done, because I read the Red Queen like twice, because the first time I read it, I didn't have a clue what was going on, and I had to read it the second time to actually know what was going on. So this is basically that, but done better. Lauren Roberts wrote this when she was 18, which is pretty impressive, I'm not gonna lie. But you can tell. You can tell. So when I was reading this, I gave her due, the fact that she was 18, and it was like, I think, her first book to ever be published. The constant plagues was just infuriating. I did give this a 4.5 because despite the plagues part, Kai and Kit, just well-rounded characters. I loved Kit. I will stand by Kit throughout this entire series. I don't think he deserved what came, but we all know Kai is a gentleman. We love Kai. So yeah, I gave this a 4.5. I read this June 2024. So kind of recent, year ago, not too bad. Doesn't feel like a year ago. Jesus Christ, man. That was quick. So I do think it was a bit too similar to the Red Queen, but at the end of the day, there is only so many plots, so many themes that can be done in a book. So you're going to get books that are going to be like basically repeats of other books, but slightly different. It's going to happen. But I'm not going to lie, I preferred this to the Red Queen. Far from. So I'm happy with that. Next one we have Powerful. This followed on from Adina's story, which is Hayden's friend. I gave this a 3-star. I just felt like it wasn't needed. I thought it was really, really sweet. But I do think that the ending was not needed. I definitely think Lauren Roberts did that on purpose, just to break our hearts. But anyway, and I loved Adina and the person she met. But I do think that it just, we didn't need our hearts broken. There was no need for that, Lauren Roberts. Thanks anyway, but we didn't need it. Next one is Reckless. This one felt exactly like Dance of Thieves. Exactly. Followed point by point. Even the destination, the way it all played out, it was very much like Dance of Thieves. I didn't enjoy Dance of Thieves. I found it boring. I found there was no plot, nothing. I don't have that book anymore, unfortunately, because I didn't enjoy it. I just felt like I didn't need it on my shelves anymore. Okay, I gave this a 3.75, so it's nowhere near Powerless, because Powerless is 4.5. It was good, but like during the middle, it lost me. I got really bored because I had already read this story before. Like, I will give her due on Powerless. I will give her due with that one because it wasn't exactly like Red Queen. But this just followed Dance of Thieves point by point. And what is weird is I haven't heard anyone else say that before. And I know people have read Dance of Thieves because it's a BookTok book. No one has said that. And I'm really like, is it just me? But it did bit by bit, like they were bound together going through this desert. And I was just bored because I'd already read this story. The ending, though, the ending did shock me. I did enjoy the ending. I was very excited for the next book when that came out. I was very excited. Now we come to Fearless. I ate this up. I ate it up. I nommed it up. It was so good. Fearless is what we were waiting for. So many people didn't like it, and I'm shocked. But I really, really enjoyed Fearless. I sobbed. I gave it a 4-star. But I sobbed. It was so... Ugh, how can people not sob over this? It was so good. I will say it's a little bit weird, the whole family situation. I had to draw a family tree to try and work out who was and wasn't related. Thank God it didn't turn out how I thought it was going to. I mean, look how beautiful this cover is, though. It's gorgeous. Gorgeous. It's so pretty. And then reversible dust jacket. Reason why I gave it a 4-star was purely because I think there were so many repeats of like words that were really nice. Silver Savior was just a little irritating, and a little bit of the plot just felt a little forced, like forced proximity and things. It was very predictable until a certain point, but it was kind of predictable. That's why I did give it a 4-star. But again, I really enjoyed it. It was so good. I had it on my shelf, like literally sat like that because it's so good. How can you not? Let's move on to these ones, shall we? So we got From Blood and Ash by Jennifer L. Armentrout. This is a chunky book, and it took me a while to read, and it has been truly loved. But I also did give it to my boyfriend to read because at the time he was intrigued. He did enjoy it. I will give you that. But I think I gave this a 4-star. I gave it 4.5. I don't remember much of this because I read it in 2021. It was quite spicy. I've got the second one, and I just can't bring myself to read it because it's massive, and I just don't care. I don't care for the rest of the series. I might give it away at some point because it's never going to get read. It's just sat at the bottom of my TBR cart. So yeah, that's From Blood and Ash, 4.5. Next, I have Magnolia Parks. You know what? I did enjoy Magnolia Parks. I did enjoy this book. I just didn't get the hype. I read it and I didn't get the hype. And I love the characters. I thought it was interesting. It was really nice reading about a British culture in a book, considering I'm British. If you couldn't tell already, I am British. I did a few days afterwards kind of get the hype because I couldn't stop thinking about it. I read this in 2023, so I kind of got the hype at the end. So yeah, I did give this a 4-star. It was pretty average, wasn't terrible. And yeah, I have only read 2 books in that series, so that brings me on to Daisy Hates, which is the floppiest book I own. And boy, does that make me happy, because here in the UK, we do not get floppy books like this. So it does make me very happy. I think I enjoyed Daisy Hates more than Magnolia Parks. My review will be able to tell you. I gave it a 3.5. How did I give this a 4.5? A 3.5, my bad. I actually disagree with that. I remember enjoying this a lot more because I can actually remember more of this as well. I need to change that. I really want to get to the next book. I have 2 more because I haven't got the last one yet. But they're so big. And I know that the writing and the margins are huge. Like the writing's small, but the margins are big. But they're just so big and the rest of them aren't floppy. And I don't want to break the spines. And it's just like... One thing I will say with this series is I don't think there's much plot to it. Like, you're just kind of following the characters on their day-to-day life. I don't think there's any plot. And it did get a little, like it dragged, you know? But yeah, I gave this a 3.5, apparently. I would have swapped those 2 round, but hey. First of all, we have A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. I enjoyed it, right? And I enjoy reading all the emails and the messages. I thought it was fun. I just think it's a little too YA for me. I love YA. I am a YA reader, but it was just too YA for me. I don't think I gave it a high rating. And it's really disappointing because all my friends, they really wanted me to read this. And so I was like, okay, I'll read it. It's good. And now they want me to continue reading the series because it gets better. Like, okay, it might get better. I will hold that, but that's fine. I understand. But I just don't have the time for it because considering the fact that I didn't even really like the first one, it was okay. I gave it a 3-star and I read it in 2023. I just don't have any avidity to actually pick up the rest of the books because I didn't really enjoy the first one. I just thought it was too YA, and Pippa did get on my nerves a little bit. She was just a little bit too needy, and I felt like she was just kind of pushing into people's lives, trying to get them all to remember this murder that happened. And it was like they clearly didn't want to. And what are you, like 16? They're not going to sit and talk to a 16-year-old about all this just for their EPQ. No, she was 17. Don't care. It was all right. I feel like I'm kind of in the minority here, and I've disappointed my friends, and I'm very sorry for that. So yeah, I give this a 3-star. Next one is Do No Harm by Jack Jordan. I love this so much. Again, I think about this book on the daily well, not on the daily, but I think about it more than you'd think. So basically, this woman's child has been taken away from her, and she either has to kill the person on her operating table or lose her son forever, basically. This is something I would read again. If I had the chance to, I would read this again because I really, really enjoyed this. I don't usually read thrillers, and I don't know why I don't actually pick them up and I don't gravitate towards them, because when I do actually read a thriller, it's really good. Like, I gave it a 4-star and I read it. I don't have a red date. I know it was a couple of years ago now, but this is something that is so out of my reading range. Like, usually I'm reading romance or like soft fantasy romances, and I just think this was a really, really interesting read, and I would recommend this to people. I would. But that also brings me on to The Silent Patient. Again, a lot of people didn't like this because
the twist was predictable.
I disagree. Okay, I gave this a 4.5 because it gave the creeps. Like, the main woman in this, she was so creepy, and the twist in it, I didn't see that coming. And when it happened, when he actually said the twist, I sat there and I was like, how is that even possible? And then I read the rest of it and I was like, oh my god, I did not expect that. It was so good. I was so gripped by this, and I stand by the fact that I did give this a 4.5, and I will stick by that because I loved it. I don't get how people didn't. And I keep recommending it to people. If people are like, oh, do you have a good thriller that's like really good? I will recommend this one along with Do No Harm, because I know that I don't read many thrillers, but these two were so good. I loved them. I think I might buy some more thrillers because I do need to read more because I do enjoy them. I do. In my next one, I will stick with the thriller category, and I read The Appeal. As you can see, I tabbed this one because whilst reading it, I needed to know where I was at and to know what links with what and etc. So The Appeal, I did give 3-star, and I was really invested, but I do think it was just a little bit too long. And I'm not gonna lie, when you get halfway, you kind of already know who's done it, but the rest of the book is finding out who's linked with that person and why and how, and all this money situation going on. So it is interesting. It is a good read. I did give it a 3-star just because it did just kind of slope at some point, and I lost a little bit of interest, which is disappointing because I know that my aunt really enjoyed this as well. I do want to read the rest of them. There's like a whole series. I've got a Christmas one as well. So yeah, this was a 3-star. I read this 2024, so it's kind of recent. Now, moving away from that, we have got Things We Never Got Over by Lucy Score. I haven't really read many of Lucy Score's books. And a lot of people didn't like this. I'm not going to read the rest of the Knockabout series because I just don't really have any care to. I gave this a 3.5. I picked this up in Sainsbury's and it was just kind of like out of the blue. I love the cover, it's pretty type of read. And you know what? I enjoyed the small town sense of it. I thought the characters had quite good romance. It wasn't as special to the point where now I can't be bothered to pick up the rest of the Knockabout series because I don't care, and I felt like this had already just finished. This just felt like it had finished the series for me. Like, I'm fine just leaving it here. So yeah, this was a 3.5. Did I say 3? 3.5. Don't know if I said 3. Either way, pretty cover. I don't want to get rid of it purely because of the cover. Stand by that. The next one is Gallant by V.E. Schwab. It's pretty small. It's just over 300 pages, so it's kind of like a novella. I think I gave this 5 stars. Okay, yeah, I gave this a 4.5. What gripped me is the fact that there were pictures in it. How did we get from being a kid not wanting to read or look at picture books to growing up and picking up a book that has words in it just purely because it's got pictures in it? How did we get there? I don't know, but gorgeous, gorgeous book. It's like this girl who got orphaned and she can see ghouls, and her uncle owns this mansion called Gallant, as you can tell by the name. Anyway, I won't spoil it, but she basically goes there and experiences a whole load of supernatural stuff. And I found it very gripping. I really enjoyed this to the point where in my first year of uni, I wrote a piece. You basically had to write a short story written in another author's writing. And I used V.E. Schwab because I love this book so much. I love the writing. I prefer writing personally in third person, which is why I also chose this book. That is a good point. If you don't like reading in third person, you might not like this. But that is how much I enjoyed it, and I definitely think this is a really good read. It's pretty short, very quick, it's very gripping. My next one, Twisted by Emily McIntyre. Again, it's not on my phone because I, as you can see, stopped reading it. But this is meant to be a dark romance, no? Did I get told wrong? I had like so many people saying that this is a dark romance. Yeah, look. Twisted is a dark contemporary slow burn romance. It is a fractured fairy tale, not fantasy or little retelling. The main character is a villain. If you're looking for a safe read, you will not find it in these pages. Twisted contains mature and graphic content that is not suitable for all audiences. I don't know whether it's just me, right? I don't think it's just me because by this point I hadn't read any dark romances. I literally got, 60%, and all of this, I don't know whether I stopped before all of that stuff can get into the story, but there is nothing at all graphic, disturbing. It's not mature, it's not graphic, it's nothing. I went into this thinking I would get some hardcore dark romance. Not hardcore, but just some dark romance. And it's not. And I don't know whether to get hooked, which is the first one, because I love Peter Pan. I freaking love Peter Pan. Peter Pan was my first ever crush. Have you ever watched the Peter Pan live action one? The guy's got like the blonde hair and he's like, I do believe in fairies. I do. Him? Oh, my first crush. I used to watch it with my nan, just like sat there and I'd just be like, this boy. I have a thing for Peter Pan. I love Peter Pan. It was my childhood. So I do want to read Hooked. I don't want to ruin my childhood. So I don't know whether I want to get into that or not. But I am intrigued. There's a new one that's come out called Hexed, isn't it? And I think it's like the Little Mermaid retelling. I don't know. I do want to get to the series, but I want dark romance in this. And there was no plot. There was nothing going on. I cannot tell you a single plot point in this book so far. I cannot tell you a single plot point. I did DNF it. I can't remember when I read it. I think it was like 2 years ago. And I do want to get back to it. So because I want to get back to it, I want to say I didn't DNF it. I'm going to say that. Hold that against me. Do what you will. But I haven't DNF'd it because I do want to finish it. Last one in this little thingy-majiggy. 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. I feel like I don't even need to explain myself with this one, because everyone who has read this book will know. They'll know. They would have given it a 5-star. I cannot tell you otherwise. So yeah, 5 stars. I remember this. I annotated the shit out of this book. I loved it so much. I got this off of Vinted, and I wasn't fussed. Like, I got it and I was like, oh, okay, yeah, whatever. I'll give it a read. Everyone likes it. Little did I know I would eat this up. I won't say anything else. Everyone knows. Surely everyone's read it already so far. Loved it. It was really, really good. 5 stars for me. I only read this in 2023. I thought I read it in 2022. Either way, definitely worth it. Definitely worth it. Ooh. Let's get on to my favourite series. Can you tell, just by the top one, what this series is? Can you tell? Can you tell? Can you tell? My favourite series of all time. Right, I'm going to talk about this series as a whole, because I'm not going to go through like 11 books. I don't actually know how much is here. But this series has me in a chokehold. Aaron Warner, babes, I love you, all right? I think that you're very yummy. I think you're delicious. And I think bench pressing as much as you have done is very impressive, okay? But Kenji has my heart. I am a Kenji stan from the beginning. Aaron, you're not even the main character in this. Kenji is. Kenji holds these books. I really didn't like Juliet. I'm sorry, Juliet. Like, it was like, hello? I think it was from Restore Me Up that she was just like so annoying. The plot, I love the plot. The plot is what kept it going for me. This series has me in a chokehold. My favourite series. I don't care about that one. That one can go F itself. But this whole series is a 5-star, and I will forever miss the first time I ever read this series. Then I got Watch Me, which is the new series that's come out. But this is with James. He's now grown up. He's now 20 something. It is very weird because he's talking about grown-up things going on there, and from what we know, he's like a 10-year-old boy. We've seen him as a 10-year-old boy, and now he's talking about that. So it is a little strange, because to us it's like, oh, sweet James, and he's like getting a boner over this like killer. Either way, the banter in this book is brilliant. James is such a hottie, gorgeous boy, and the banter between like Kenji and him, and Kenji's stress eating the whole time is so adorable. Just like every time you would just be like, Kenji like opens up a packet of sweets, you just hear him munching in the background. Like, it was such. I gave this 5-star. This was a recent read. I read this in the month of May, and it was almost like you were watching a movie. Also, let me just point out the fact that we have now moved on to the other eye. Like, we are no longer on the right eye. We've moved on to the left eye, which is quite interesting. I didn't know that until someone pointed it out on TikTok. So I like that. I do like that feature. I just can't wait for the next one to come out, which is probably in like 2 years' time, which I'm crying. But I will 100% keep this book in my arms for the rest of my life. And it is just gorgeous as well. I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed. That moves on to the last pile. I've been recording for an hour long. Who knew? Who knew I could talk for so long? Not me. So, first book in this pile is Masters of Death. Now, this popped up very briefly on TikTok, and I saw it and I was like, ooh, interesting. And then it just disappeared. So every time I went into the bookstore, I would see this and I was like, oh, I want to get it. Then I went to America and I had some dollaroos to spend. And obviously I went to Barnes & Noble. You can't go to America and not go to Barnes & Noble. And so I picked this up. And boy, am I glad that I did. Holy moly. Also, look at the artwork. Gorgeous. Gorgeous book. And also, may I add, I was mid-reading and little did I also know there's freaking pictures in it. Oh, they're so cute. I have never read a book like this before. I did give it I gave it a 4 star, but as the time went on, I definitely think it was more of like a 4.25 or like a 4.5 because I've never read anything like this. The reason being it's not a 5 star because I would have given it a 5 star, but it dragged. Like it was very, very slow paced. Like nothing happened until midway through. It's a very character driven plot. So if you're not into character driven plots, this is probably not for you. I loved every single character in this book. I have never read a book where I have loved every single character the same way. I think the characters are lovable, so lovable. I thought the banter was brilliant. I found myself chuckling quite a few times during this. And the concept of it all, it's very old fashioned. It's all about a game. I won't like tell you much, but it is about a game that's basically illegal in the immortal world. There is a gay romance going on between the main male kind of character. There's not really a main character in this, but I'd say the main male character, Fox, there is a love interest going on between him and someone else, and that was really sweet, but also kind of infuriating to an extent. But I'm not going to say anything else. It took me a little while to read. I was literally like, I think I read for half an hour and I'd only read 15 pages, which to me, that is really little. Like, I usually read a page a minute. But because the words are so big and, like, as in there's lots of, even I can't come up with the word, like, very big words in this that I didn't even understand. I'm not the smartest, so when it comes to reading books with like really smart words in, it does take a lot out of me. So this was a very, I don't know how to explain it. It was really good, but it just takes a lot out of you. So then I read Twisted Love. This is my first fair share of dark romance. It's not really dark, it kind of is dark romance. So I bought the series and boy am I glad that I did. I gave it a 4.25. I love this book. Not 5 star though, because I think there was just something missing. Like it felt very not insta-lovey, but kind of insta-lovey, and I'm not a big fan of that. But I did love this. I love the way that the men swoon for them. I love the girls, like the friendship dynamic that's going on in this. I just really, really enjoyed this. I really did. I thought it was really good. So yeah, I gave this a 4.25. I read this recently. It was literally like 2 weeks ago. Then I moved on to Twisted Games straight after. This is a chunky book, right? And I'm in the middle of Twisted Hate at the moment. Ooh, I'm about 60 pages to go, a bit less than that, as you can see. So I'm in the middle of reading that against chunky book. I gave this one a 3.5. So I read this, I don't even know how long I read this for. I think it took me like less than a week to read, maybe a little bit more. And I really enjoyed Bridget's and Rice's. Is it Rice or Reese? It's probably Reese, but I read it as Rice because you've got the H. Anyway, I'm going to say Rice. I loved their dynamic. I loved the whole like bodyguard and princess thing. It took span over like 4 years, so I felt the books are very quick paced, like very, very quickly paced. And I love that, but I do think it was a little bit too quick paced. And I definitely think that it felt a little rushed. Like half of this book could have been shortened down. This book could have been the size of this. And I think having a romance book this chunky can be very risky. It can be very risky because she didn't need half of this. Like, there was so much of this book that felt forced. Towards the end, the plot felt forced. I don't know, that's just what brought down the thing for me. Like, it felt really forced, the plot, towards the end. So it wasn't quite what this one was. But I loved Rice. Oh, that man. I see the book talk hype. I do. I really do. And Bridget, I loved Bridget. But again, she lost her Bridgetness. I don't know if that even makes sense, but Bridget was not Bridget towards the end of this book. And also, they got married like way too quick. It just felt very It felt very cliche. I did love the plot, but up until the point where it got forced, and it just felt like, girl, you could have just stopped it if you wanted to, but you didn't. So anyway, I did enjoy it. I'm loving this series so far. I really am. I'm about to talk to you about a series I haven't finished, and I'm very unbothered to finish. The Dirty Air series. I really enjoyed Throttled, right? I read Throttled. Now, I don't know if my taste has changed because I read Throttled 2 years ago, so I don't remember much about this, but I did give it a 4-star at the time. So I must have enjoyed it, but again, my tastes have changed since then. So yeah, Throttled was a 4-star for me. I read this 2 years ago, and I only just recently started reading the rest of the series. Collided was my next one. So this was Sophie and Liam's story, which are side characters in this. So this story runs alongside of this one, right? I didn't know that until halfway through the book, and I was like, I've already read this. What is going on? Then I saw the name Maya, and I was like, hold on a second, and I then clocked that it was running alongside, but I didn't get told that. Whereas in this series, they told us at the beginning, oh, just to let you know, this runs alongside of the epilogue of the first one. It goes over the span of 4 years. Would have been nice to have a bit of a warning, Lauren Asher. Thanks. Anyway, yeah, Sophie and Liam should have just been kept as side characters. I do not care what anyone says. Sophie is the most pick-me girl you could ever get. Liam's just exactly the same as all the other guys. I think all the other guys, I don't think they really had any character to them. I think the men were just the same throughout the entire series, which was kind of sad. I gave this a 3-star. There wasn't any plot. It was just flat. It just got on my nerves. I just didn't really like it. But I didn't not like it as much as Wrecked. Wrecked? This book should be Wrecked. I'm so sorry for anyone who loves the Dirtier series. There are so many booktubers that love the Dirtier series, okay? And I want to know why. I want to know why. I ever so dearly do. I do want to know why. Because this one, I threw across the room. Tell me why they were having sex in the frickin' London Eye. No! Oh, so this follows Elena and Jax. I think it's Eleanor, but she's American, so I say Elena. Jax wasn't as bad. I didn't mind Jax as much as the other two men, but he's just exactly the same. They all felt exactly the same. And what I will say is Jax, right? Pills, alcohol, adrenaline. I'm addicted to destructive decisions that numb my pain. Tell me where in this book he was an addict, an alcoholic, and an addict to adrenaline. No, it's like, she's like, oh, this guy is an addict, he's an alcoholic, he loves adrenaline. But alcohol is only mentioned twice in this, and he's not even addicted to it in the moment, right? Adrenaline is probably only mentioned once when he's got a race. Pills do go through it, but they only happen like this much before she's like, oh, I'll help you with it. I don't think Lauren Asher really knows what an addict is. And she also doesn't know what a British person is. British people, right? Lauren Asher, okay? British people do not just go around saying wanker the entire time. Okay? We don't go up to something and call it a wanker all the time. That is not our only vocabulary. Okay? Electric kettle. Hello? It was like the words that she was using was trying to be British because Jax is meant to be British, but it just wasn't coming across that way. It was coming across the way that you don't know what British is. British culture just doesn't evolve around having tea every morning, us saying wanker at every person, us having an electric kettle. It's just a kettle, love. It's just a kettle. We don't have tea every morning. In fact, we actually have coffee every morning as well. Tea isn't our only drink. It's not our only source of liquid. It was just like, she doesn't know how to write British, and that got on my nerves. So it's like she doesn't know how to write an addiction. because if I read this without the addict bit on the back, I would never have said that Jax was an addict, ever. She doesn't know how to write about F1 because she just doesn't feel like she does her research before she writes about these things. Like, please do your research before you write about something. You have to know what the topic is inside and out before you write about it. You can't just think, oh, I love F1, don't really know much about it, and I love British culture, and I love addiction, so I'm just going to put that in a book. You have to do your research, Lauren Asher, please, because it sounds like you do not, and I just couldn't get along with it. One book left in the Dirty Air series, and I'm struggling to pick it up because it is also 500 pages. And I already know how the first 3 go, and 500 pages of that, not a fan. I'm not a fan. Anyway, that is all of my books that I have read. There are a few more, but I have sold a lot of them as well. I've either donated them to charity or I've sold them. They've all gone to a better home now because they were just not loved by me, which is quite sad, but hopefully they are loved by other people. So I will not get into those because we don't need to. I do not own them anymore. So yeah, that is everything. I really hope you enjoyed this video. I'm really sorry if I have hurt anyone's feelings over this. We all have different opinions. We all have different views on different books. There are probably so many books here that I've given 5 stars that I love that maybe you don't. And I would love to know what ones those are. If you'd like to put down in the comments, I would love to have a chat with you about what you loved, any questions, what ones you didn't like, if you agreed with any of this. I would really like to know. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please give it a big thumbs up. That would be amazing. And yeah, have a lovely rest of your day, and I'll see you in another video.